So hello everybody and welcome to another beer review, number 103 I believe. It's been a bit of a crazy weekend down at the Great British Beer Festival. Check the video out if you haven't done already. Met so fucking drunk, Mr Beer Goggles, Terry, and also Minty's Beer Reviews too. Had a fantastic time. I'm joined by the Black Labrador, so I might as well show you. I'm joined by, where have you gone? The Black Labrador. Bessie! Hello, sweetie. How are you? Are you going to say hello to the camera? If it'll focus on you. No, she's not interested. The dog isn't interested. Anyway, probably time to get on with the review, isn't it? So, today, this bottle comes courtesy of Checkers Micropub in the middle of Beverley. I'd work a couple of shifts there every now and again whenever he needs a hand, really. And he's given me one of these. It's St Mungo by West Brewery in Glasgow. I was just yabbering on about West to him. I said, I saw St Mungo's in a bar in the middle of Hull, and I thought, God, I haven't seen that since I was actually last in Glasgow and when I was at West. So I had to give it a try, and lo and behold, he was like, wait a second, just wait there, I've got some bottles of it. This is brewed in like they do all the beers, West do all their beers in the Reinheitsgebot style, so German lager style beers. And they brew them all. Well, there's a few rumours going around that they might be owned by Green King, that the beers might not actually be brewed at the microbrewery that's in Glasgow Green, but whatever. They've got a beautiful location, slap bang in the middle of Glasgow Green. This fantastic old factory, I think it's a carpet factory, and do loads of food. It's like a micro pub, so it does food and does their own beer as well. And they've clearly just started bottling and stuff. By the way, cool labels and bottles. It's nice silver and gold, and they've got like a striped black on the background as well. Looks quite, looks pretty damn German, despite being. Oh, in fact, there's the building on the top. If you can see it, that's what the building looks like. It's this beautiful old-fashioned building. So yeah, they do all these German beers. Some of the more interesting ones, the ones that I really liked when I was there, were the kind of the interesting ones like the Dunkels and the Box and the Munich style lagers and different styles of lagers, so it was nice to try a few different ones. This one's the St Mungo. It's a pure heavenly one. And what is this one off the top of my head? I don't know. It just says it's a deceptively easy drinking light golden lager. So it doesn't give a style on the back, so we'll assume it's probably a Pilsner or something like that. Right, let's give it a crack open and give it a try. In fact, I should probably look online, it might tell me there. But doesn't matter. Using my Great British Beer Festival glass, because why the heck not? Let's see if we can get a bit ahead on this one. Oh yeah, you can definitely tell it's a lager. Hey! Ho ho ho! Right, so that is an entire Jack's fist worth of head on the top of your beer. I'll let that one settle for a while, just pour it out. Might as well let it settle. It'll go going anyway. Right, so, badly poured, but who cares? It is a kind of just off golden colour, nice deep golden colour. It is clear as day, absolutely massive amounts of carbonation as you would expect to see from a lager. Really tiny but very thick head on it. So tiny bubbled but thick head. It's not a tiny head, that is still a Jack's fist worth of head on the top of the beer too. I can smell it already, which is, I think, is a really good sign of a good beer if you can smell the characters from it already. I might add as well, we touched on this when we were at the Great British Beer Festival, look at that for a head. That is a thick head. It's like a level on top of the beer, and that is not going away, I don't think, so this could be quite a messy review. Right, smells. Oh, do you know what? It smells quite, sweet. Sweet kind of, malty flavour, like a real biscuity sweet note to it, almost kind of bordering on nuttiness. And underneath that there's kind of a spicy, floral and grassy kind of hoppy notes under it too. I mean, it smells like a very traditional Pilsner, but it smells like there's a lot, just something a little bit more to it. I mean, it smells pretty damn hoppy for a lager, so that's always a good sign. But it smells like many other German lagers I've had before, which is not a bad thing. No, this is imitating the style of. So that's never a bad thing. It smells pretty good. It smells very inviting. It clocks in at 4.7, 4.9% even. So it's quite a premium strength lager really. It's getting up there a little bit. But I can smell quite a lot of booze on the back of the nose as well. Like a warming sort of sensation, alcoholic and warming, along with kind of floral and grassy and sort of spicy flavours and this sweet biscuity malt flavour. I'm assuming that's probably going to come through in the flavours as well. I've only done a couple of lager reviews before anyway, but that's what you tend to find, is they're a lot crisper and smoother and lighter on the palate. So without further ado, cheers. You couldn't say this is anything but crisp and smooth. There's not a hint of roughness in the texture in your mouth. It's very velvety and silky smooth. You can just about tell like the carbonation rolling down the tongue though. Very, very, very subtle bitterness, if at all any. Yeah, very, very small amount. I wouldn't say this is more than in the teens in the IBUs, if that. It's really not bitter. Lovely kind of sweet, that biscuity flavour, that biscuity nutty flavour coming through at the beginning. And a very, very thin and light and wet sort of mouthfeel as well. And then you kind of get a bit of the hops coming through afterwards as well, the spicy notes. Of definitely floral, popping its head out, and then it follows on with more kind of biscuit flavours and nutty flavours on the aftertaste. Having said that, the predominant flavours in this I'm getting is this kind of overall general sweetness on the tongue. And that's kind of the dominating and overpowering flavour really. The dog's whining next to me. Overpowering flavour. I'm not entirely sure if I like that. I'm not a humongous fan of lagers anyway, so I'm never going to be quite too hugely partial to them, hence why I probably like some of the more interesting blended mixes of the lagers that are around rather than just a general light lager. But yeah, this overall kind of just sweetness that kind of cloys and masks over everything. So I'm not entirely sure if it's what I call a particularly top-notch lager even. I've definitely had ones that are better and got more flavours coming through in different ways. This one's dominated by that sweet malt profile and doesn't have much in the way of other flavours, and that really, really light and kind of watery body doesn't help it much. If there were other flavours kind of lifting and taking away, that'd be fine, but instead you're left with like a mouthful of watery, sugary beer. So I have much fonder memories of Western than I'm having currently with the beer I've got in my hands. I would hazard probably to give this like a 6.5 out of 10. It's not the best lager I've ever tried, probably by a long way, unfortunately. But having said that, other beers that I've had by them have been a heck of a lot better. I'm trying to think of any off the top of my head, but it's been such a long time since I've been there. But the atmosphere of the place, in general, is fantastic. The food, I always remember the food being brilliant. Their onion rings are just something to literally die for. I would kill several times over to have some of their onion rings again. And actually, in terms of probably what this beer is made for is for its drinkability. You can tell I've just literally glugged and glugged and glugged away and had sips every other word. It is unbelievably drinkable. If you're looking for something that you could, if you chilled this down, if you made this really cold, this isn't humongously cold. I probably didn't leave it in the fridge for as long as I maybe should have done. But hey, that increases flavour. Surely we all know when a beer gets warmer that the flavours come out a little bit more. Drinkability, it's outstanding. In terms of flavour, it's probably still a bit lacking for my liking. I really wanted to like this more than I have done. I have really fond memories of the place. But hey ho, that's how the biscuit goes. That's how the biscuit goes. That's how the cookie crumbles. That's the phrase I'm looking for. That's how the cookie crumbles. So yeah, go on, give them a try. I can vouch for West Spears. I can definitely vouch for the venue if you ever find yourself up Glasgow way. If you do like your lagers and you want something a little bit more craft, something a little bit more thought and effort's been put into, try your St Mungo's. In terms of other macro, if I'm comparing it to macro beers, I should say, if you believe the hype and they're now owned, I think they are probably owned by Green King, so it's semi-macro. But if you believe the rumours, compared to other macro beers, over the macro lagers, it's pretty good. I mean, the aroma, so just the aroma alone was very enticing, if a bit lacking in the flavour. So it probably stacks up there, probably a little bit above your usual standard lagers, hence why it's getting 6.5. In terms of other craft lagers, I don't think it. Sorry, not Boston. Brooklyn Lager. Brooklyn Lager is one of my favourite ones. If you're looking for a craft lager, that's absolutely knockout. And also Harveston Schiehallion, which is another Scottish lager. That's knockout too. If you ever get your hands on that, and I will definitely do a review when I get my hands on it on this channel. So without further ado, 6.5. Bit disappointing, but like, favourite, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think if you've been to West, if you tried it, etc, etc. And until the next bear beer reviews, cheers.